So you learned the basics of Davinci Resolve and now you want to get into the nitty-gritty of color science. So you want to color grade, right? If you haven't learned the basics yet, click the top right card to watch this video. The only thing you need is footage to work on, a PC and a beanie, so you can look like the local coffee shop dude that is always on his laptop and you don't know what he's doing, but he's probably making money while being on his laptop. So let's jump in. I look so fucking retarded. And you can follow along even if you have the free version of the Davinci Resolve. So let's get into it. So I already imported the footage. It looks kinda sad because it's not color graded. So how do we change the color? So there's a neat little tab on the bottom of the Davinci Resolve which is called color. So let's click that. And oh my god, that looks like it's way too much. Which, yeah, I get it. It kind of looks a bit overwhelming, but it's pretty easy and I'm gonna show you how to do everything you need to do for the beginning. So, first off, we need the curves, which is this little tab over here, which is a little S curve, the Bezier curve, I think.
Bezier.
You don't need to know that. First off, most important thing, you have to turn stuff on. It's probably gonna look like that if you haven't been in a color tab, and I would recommend to turn on the histogram and use the output. Well, the input was there. It's the input of the video, and if you change stuff, it's not changing in here in the curves. So we want to change that to the output. So if you change the colors, it changes in that little viewer too. So if you move this one around, it makes everything darker, as you can see right here. If you move the top one, it changes the bright parts of the image. Usually, I wouldn't recommend playing around with those little notches. I don't really know why, but I don't do that. So let's start with drawing a curve. Just hold left click and drag around and you can see stuff changing. Now, that icon over here pretty much shows you what you would usually do. So let's just draw an S curve right now. And oh my god, the whole image looks better. Probably. But at the same time you can see the saturation increase as well. So let's just click this little button to redo what we done. But wait, this little button is over here too, and is only for the specific window you're in right now. So we can choose one of those four little things. R obviously changes red, G is green as you can see right here, and B is blue. And what's Y? Well, that's pretty much just the brightness itself. So if we do the same adjustment again, the saturation isn't affected. By the way, if you want to use every single one, just click the log and you can choose your stuff again. So let me just undo that, just to the brightness of the image and play around a bit. Now, it's pretty much after your taste. You can do whatever you want, but the thing I would recommend is to not peak the video. Now, as you can see over here, that's a graph of red, green and blue. But all three channels, which show you pretty much just the brightness of the image. If you play the video, you can see it kind of changing. Depending on what we do, it's changing. So let's look at the scopes. What happens if we make it brighter? Oh, everything moves up. What about darker? Everything moves down. So we observed 0 probably is black and 1023 probably means it's white, which actually is like that. Now, we don't really want to hit 1023 or 0, but we want to get close to it so the contrast of the video seems pretty okay, because you never really see just black, it's always a gray shade. So let's play around with it till we're happy with it. That looks good. The more contrasty your video looks like, the more dramatic it will look like, and the flatter, the lighter. So we don't want to make it too contrasty, because that's just a little kind of interview. It's me over here and Caracas, a good buddy of mine, sitting in front of the camera and just talking to the camera, so we don't want it too dramatic. What else do we want to change? Yeah, well, let's just change the saturation. Down here in the color wheels, there's a set value, which is short for a saturation. If you bump it up, we can see it's changing. Depending on how desaturated your footage is, you will probably bump it up real high. And depending on what mood you're in, if it's sad or if it's pretty rainy, you probably don't want that much saturation. of course it depends on the situation you're in right now. So I'm gonna choose, I don't know, 80%. By the way, if you double click in it, you can just use the numpad, or I think just the numbers, yeah, to edit that little value. Now the image kind of looks good, but that is probably not even true. So let's go more sciencey by going to the scopes and choosing vector scopes, which this little circle completely looks different, right? Kind of the same like the one before, but still kind of different. Now the thing I'd recommend is to change again the settings and add a 2x zoom. As you can see, it's just enhancing the values without really changing the image. And show the skin tone indicator. Now what's the skin tone indicator? You can see this line was added. And that's just, well, the indicator of skin tone. Every skin tone is pretty much orangey. It should be on this line. Now there's a neat way to just see the skin color by using windows. So let's just not talk a lot about them because you can do a lot with them. But let's just click the circle, and as you can see, it made a circle. And it's just affecting the area in the circle. Now let's just put it on my face. Let's just put it right somewhere over here. Now, there's a little trick. Right now it's just affecting this area, but we can add a alpha output. Let's do that. Connect it in this little viewer by drag and dropping the blue thing, and whoops, only my face is visible. Yeah, that's the alpha output pretty much. And we're gonna use it to see if the skin color is perfectly on point. And as you can see, the skin color is on it perfectly. Usually it's probably a bit offset, as you can see right now. Oh wait. As you can see, the video still looks good, but if we choose this little mask again, we can see the skin color isn't perfectly on this little line. So we can change the hue, and now it's too purple, now it's a little too green. We just want it perfectly resting on it, which in this case is pretty much 50, which is the middle value. Let me just disable the mask by clicking that circle thingy, and it's gone. Now the image looks okay, but the sky is pretty much blown out. If you press Shift D, we can disable the color grade completely, or we can just click the button up here so we can see what's going on. Now originally it wasn't clipping the sky. The brightest part, which is sky right now, wasn't clipping. If you turn it on, it's kind of clipping, which we can change. Let's just add a new node. This one is a node, so let's add another one, a corrector. The footage starts from over here, this little green point. We can add it to that little corrector, and we can merge both of them by using a parallel mix. So we can just plug in both of the footages right here, both of the correctors right here, and put it to the output, and there we go. Nothing really changes, but we're gonna change that. Now that's getting into the deep stuff. Let's go to the thingy right here, I forgot what it's called. And we can select certain areas of a color. So let's go over the skin color. As you can see over here, it's only affecting the skin color right over here. Let me just make it visible. See? Now it's just affecting the skin colors. And you can like use every single color over here with that eyedropper. And you can drag and hold it too. As you can see right here. Now it's selecting more and more and more. Now we're gonna use this to just turn down the brightness of the sky. Let me just turn that one off again, so we can only see, so we can see the whole sky. So let's go to the curves again and just start pulling it down. As you can see, the sky darkens, and we can start seeing the individual clouds, as you can see over here. Now that's way overdone, but we can see the clouds. So let's pull it down, so it looks a little better. Now we've got a little problem right here. The trees that we can see we've done some to the sky. Now we can feather the whole mask by going to the little dropper again and just increasing the blur radius. And by increasing this a lot, we can feather it out, and the sky looks like it's supposed to. Now we can earth individual correctors right here by selecting it and pressing Ctrl D. Now it's deselected, or it's not showing up anymore, and we can see the sky was way too overexposed. If you turn it back on by pressing Ctrl D again, we can see, oh, the sky pretty much looks like it's supposed to look like if we are seeing it in real life. which is awesome. Now we can obviously go back into the curves and just select the blue channel. So we can only play around with the blue colors, and we can just lift it a bit. A little more, a little more. Somewhere over there. So the sky looks like it's a blue sky. As you can see, if you turn it on and off, it's changing. And in my opinion, it looks better. Of course, do whatever you want to. And if you want to, you can watch it in full screen by pressing Ctrl and F, and it's gonna go full screen. So there we go. The image kind of looks good. Now if you want to, we can go even deeper. We don't really have to. We can like change the temperature of the footage. As I said, we don't have to. We can make it look pretty cool, not pretty warm. That's more advanced, and you can probably figure it out by yourself. That's it, I think. Yeah, that's all about color grading, or at least the basics of it. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Comment down below why you didn't like it or why you did like it. And if you loved it, sub to my channel and ring the bell to never miss an upload like this stuff.